Hey guys, thank you for joining. Whichever part of the world you're from, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good morning. If you're in my part of the world, super excited to have you here because we're going to be talking about something that's super interesting, which is using AI in marketing. So yeah, I'm super excited. Are you excited? uh, the most important thing is what has taken place in just last past 1 week, where Google came out with its new AI. Rather, it actually rechristened the Bard as Gemini, and I've been playing around with this for B2B marketing, and I thought this would be a great chance for us to actually exchange some notes, and I wanted to share some perspectives in terms of what I have observed in what I do, and I thought it would be fun for us to kind of talk about about what's better for B2B marketing. Is it ChatGPT, or is it going to be Bard? What is the winner? I think that's the question we've been looking to get some answers for. So, if you're watching this live, thank you for joining me. My name is Karthik, and I am the best way to describe what I do is I play around with AI these days. Well, just kidding. I'm a copywriter, I'm a marketer, and I've been obviously playing around a lot with AI tools, especially ChatGPT in the last many months, and Claude a little bit. And just in the last week or so, I've been using Google's Gemini purely from the interest point of seeing how much of what I've been able to do is something I can now do with Gemini. Again, what I have to share in today's video is probably going to change tomorrow morning. You never know, with AI, everything is changing so fast. So we never know when things are going to change. But hopefully, if you're watching this in due time, you're probably going to get some value out of this. Because what I'm going to be doing, let's see if I can share my screen really quick. I am going to share my, okay, probably you can see a nice top of the hill view of some meadows, and okay, if you do see, I'm going to now, hold on, this is all new to me, but I think I got it. So let me bring this and put this in perspective. um, Probably this is a little too small for you to see, but I think it doesn't really matter, frankly, because the point I I wanted to bring it here is because I didn't want to look like I'm reading from some notes. Well, I have say taken some notes, and the notes is what you see on the screen, right? So I've been like thinking about doing this for a while. So I thought, for a while, as in for a couple of days now. So I thought I should probably do a session where we talk about ChatGPT versus another tool, because ChatGPT and ChatGPT Plus, which is what I've been using, is, I know it's an amazing tool when it comes to being able to do a lot of these things that you see, like for example the 5 topics that I'm hoping to cover. So we're going to be hanging out for an hour or so. So I'm going to be taking it slow, and I'm going to be walking you through things in a lot more detail, if that's something that you're interested in. But I don't know if we'll be able to do all these 5, but I would want to cover like the top 5 areas of B2B marketing, which I think is super important for us. Like for example, the first is content creation, second is email marketing, SEO. Well, is SEO still there with AI and all of that? We'll talk about that, and I'll show. And fourth is marketing strategy, and 5 is market research. Now, you're probably wondering what we are going to be doing about these. I'm not going to be talking about what these are. You know these better than I do, perhaps. But I think what I'm going to be going after is trying to literally put Google Gemini and ChatGPT head to head, and do some sort of a apple to apple comparison. So what we're going to be doing is first we'll kind of pick these areas which we've already done. I will actually go and create some prompts uh, that I've been using. Use some of these prompts on both the platforms, the same prompt on both platforms, and see which one actually performs better. I really am excited about this because look, I think the whole point of doing this video is not to say that AI can do all these things. And I think we all know AI can do content creation, can do SEO optimization or SEO strategy for you, or okay, it can't do optimization, but it can do a strategy perhaps more effectively. It can do email marketing in the sense it can help you do write copy, email copy, and stuff like that. Marketing strategy, market research. I think these are things that we know AI can do and ChatGPT can do. But the question is, how good can it be? How good can it get? And how good can it get on two different platforms? I think that's the whole point here. So I'm super excited because I've never done this live like we're doing here. So even if you're watching this sometime later, I really think you should watch this all with the way to the end because you never know what's going to happen. But I can tell you one thing: we are not going to close this without achieving or accomplishing our goals. Our goal, or my goal here, is purely to actually get down to as many of these topics that you see on the screen, and do a head-to-head or apple-to-apple comparison between how ChatGPT handles this versus how Google Gemini handles it. All right, so that's that. So I think if there are any questions, if you're watching this live, I would love for you to pop in the chat and ask any questions. I will be monitoring the chat, obviously, because I need to understand what you're thinking. I think the point is we're going to keep this interactive. So if you're just watching this live and if you're just joining now, hey, my name is Karthik. I am a marketer, a copywriter, and an AI junkie and an AI addict. You might call it that way, but I think that's what I am outside of work. I mean, the reason I have the picture of a cat on the YouTube channel is because we have a cat at home, and he is sometimes I end up trying to refer to Chat GPT as Cat GPT. So cats are adorable. So I am a proud cat parent. My wife is a makeup artist, and my son, I have a 10-year-old son. So the reason I'm telling this is probably you are like me. You're somewhere in the world, probably are a father or your husband, or you're a cat parent. Well, or a pet parent, even better. I think the whole point is I just want to give you a 360-degree view of who I am so you can place me when I talk about certain things, especially the fact that I've been using AI for a lot of different things, including giving assignments for my son. Well, for his exam preps, I end up using ChatGPT to actually generate some questions, and it does a fantastic job. Go and try this if in case you are a parent. So anyways, that's off topic. Let's get back to the discussion. So we want to really talk about ChatGPT versus. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open, let's see, I'm going to bring this straight up here. So that's my screen. I hope you can see this. So let's say open my favorite ChatGPT in one window, and it's called what? Gemini. I think it's called Gemini dot Google. I thought that would be an autocomplete. It's not happening. That's fine. Let's see. All right, so hey, hello Karthik. How can I help you today? You can definitely help me in a lot of ways. Just answer my questions. Anyways, I think let's go and start looking into our topic today. So, like, where is the list here? There you go. Let's look at content creation in general, right? I mean, I think what we're looking at when it comes to creating content is if the AI tool is able to create content in a way that you are, how do I say, you can use it. I think the whole point of creating content is something that works. So I think it comes brings us back to the question as to what is a good content. So good content to me is something that speaks, that connects with your audience, that that helps them understand emotionally what you're talking about, and it's also able to get them to do some action. But more importantly, I think good content is something that is more strategic for you from your business point of view. A good content should be able to do something for your business or your personal brand, whatever you're trying to build. So in that spirit, I am going to start constructing a prompt, and then we will run that prompt across chat I was about to say Chat Gemini. Well, that'll be interesting. Chat GPT and Gemini. For some reason, I'm seeing a problem here with the Gemini word. Cap Gemini is a company. Gemini. I mean, people who are Geminis in star sign, they are going to be more excited. Not me. I'm a Leo. But anyways, that aside. So we are going to construct a prompt, and then we're going to try it across two different AI engines, and I'm going to be doing it but in two phases. First, I'll construct a simple prompt. And what do I mean by a simple prompt? Well, a simple prompt is nothing but that it's literally short, shallow, and to the point. It really does not give enough context. Like, for example, write a 300-word essay on let's say on AI, right? I mean, that can be a simple prompt, but a complex prompt, or as it's called in the world of OpenAI, system prompts, these are more contextual prompts that actually gives enough context, enough background, enough fodder for AI to chew and give something useful for you. So I am going to be doing both of them, and we'll basically see how they perform. I mean, sounds good. Before I did that, I want to take a moment here. If you're watching this, I would love for you to please share some love. If you can share this with someone in your network, in your email list, whatever, I think I would be really humbled and thankful. What I, and along the same note, what I'm also going to do is just share this link to this live session on any platform that I know. So give me a second here. In the meantime, I would love to know if there is something more that you would like me to cover with respect to what we're doing. If there is something that you want me to specifically get into, you have a prompt that you want me to try out, or you want me to give you a better prompt, uh, let me know. Let me know in the comments, and I will be more than happy to do that. So the interesting thing, I don't know if you've observed this. Just yesterday, OpenAI came up with this announcement of Sora. It's a text to video model, which is not broadly available at this point, but I think it's the whole idea of text to video and the way that the sample demos look. They look really really interesting to me. I would love to know what you think about um, this whole new thing. Hold on, I am almost done. I'm going to be sharing this with my folks. So, um, sorry guys, it's taking longer than I thought it would, but I think I'm really excited for this session because we are going to be covering some ground which I think you will love. It's longer than I thought it would, but I think all right. So thanks for hanging in. Thanks for the patience. But I think let's get down to business. I think the most important thing that I look for in a prompt, like I said, is who am I connecting with? What am I trying to do? More important is the target audience. So um, if you've not used this extension, I have a Chrome browser open and I have this extension called Whisper for Chrome. It actually gives a voice interface for ChatGPT. It uses OpenAI's Whisper API. So as you see, there is a tiny little, I mean, look at my mouse cursor here. There is a tiny microphone that you see in the message box right here. And that's all you need. You need to click on that and speak like you would speak to anybody else. And it actually records and transcribes what you speak and puts it right into the message box as a prompt. So it's pretty cool, and let's get down to using this. So what we're going to be doing first is we are going to be looking at content creation, and let's say I am going to create a LinkedIn content, that a LinkedIn post, right? My audience is B2B founders and marketers, and primarily based in the United States and Europe. So I'm going to be focusing on creating a LinkedIn post that resonates with these people, and my audience is typically somewhere in the 30 to 45 year age group. So which means that these people are typically balancing a life which is between, let's say, between work, they are obviously founders or they are soon to be founders or marketers, and they have a lot of pressure to get stuff done. Maybe they have taken venture capital. Well, I'm explaining all this because all of this, you will see how this actually translates into a prompt. So my goal is to basically be able to connect with these people. So I am guessing that people who are like this also have challenges. Every day of the week, every part of the day is a lot different from the other. So we got to get very contextual with what we are posting. So let's say today is Friday morning. So it's Friday morning. I'm going to be posting this, let's say, on this evening on LinkedIn, and I am going to be talking about the fact that we did a live video talking about Google. I was about to say Chat Gemini. Well, Google Gemini versus Chat GPT. So we're doing this video. So what I really want to do, I really think this is going to be helpful for B2B founders and marketers, because I think all of us are in the job of trying to do our job better, which means we are always looking for better ways to do something. So let's say that's the context. Let me go and try putting together a prompt. So in the next few minutes, it's going to be a weird thing where you're going to be hearing me read out or speak out a prompt. So I'm not going to be talking to you in the next few a minute or so. So let's take this. I'm going to click this button right here and start recording my prompt. You are the world's best LinkedIn content creator. People love what you write. You are the best at creating content that hooks people, stops them from scrolling, and gets them to read what you post. Now, I need you to write a LinkedIn post for me, for my audience, which is largely B2B founders and marketers who are based in the United States and Europe. These people are perhaps busy watching Super Bowl or talking about Super Bowl in the evenings, but they are founders, so they have job to do, they have startups to run, they are marketers, they have marketing to do. So I need you to write a LinkedIn post that I intend to post on a Friday evening, and at 6 p.m. And I need you to write about the three big differences between ChatGPT and Google Gemini. And I want to urge you to put that in the context of the Super Bowl. Take your time to do thorough research about the subject and my audience and craft a LinkedIn post that is perhaps the best you've written till date. Don't leave any stone unturned. Just go for the best. That's funny. I tried to record myself, and every time I try recording a prompt, it actually sounds funny to me sometimes because it feels like I'm talking to my computer, which is weird. It's just assuming just not too long ago we were not doing such things. It was considered insane, but I think that's the prompt. As you see, it literally has turned whatever I told into a prompt. So what I'm going to be doing before this is I'm going to be just cutting this, so it's there. But before that, I want to run a simple prompt, right? Let's look at a simple prompt. I want you to write a LinkedIn post to talk about the three biggest differences between ChatGPT and Google's Gemini. And I want you to write this for my audience, which is largely B2B founders and B2B marketers. This is a LinkedIn post, so make it really interesting and hook people for their attention. Okay, so that's the simple one at this point. So what I'm going to be doing, that's a very simple post. It does not have too much of anything happening. It's a plain vanilla post. It can get even more vanilla like, but I think I'll leave it at this. So I'm going to hit go here. Now let's see what this one has to do. So there you go. This is the post that it gives with this prompt. It's a simple prompt. Okay. Don't mind the. Okay. So that's the simple prompt. Now we're going to be trying the more complex prompt that I just recorded before, or rather first. So I'm going to be pasting that. Once we do this, we'll go to Gemini to see how it performs with the same prompt. So I'm going to be hitting go. So the difference here between the two prompts, I mean, of course, this is not a very complex prompt, but I think I would get really deep. But then the background here is it gives the AI two separate contextual markers. The first one is what time I'm going to be posting. Second, it is giving the context of Super Bowl happening, which is basically seasonal. So it gets some idea. As you see here, the post looks a lot different. You know, the halftime show, the strategy break, talks about special teams, difference. So the way it crafts the messaging is a lot different from something else. So what is the big difference here? Innovation for future victories. So what I do like this, but then this only would work in the context of what's happening with Super Bowl. But if Super Bowl was not happening and you posted this, people would probably be scratching their heads to understand what you're really talking about. But anyways, let's now go and try the first prompt, which is this one, and go to Gemini. And I'm going to try that in Gemini to see how it performs. In my okay, I think I need to just make this realized. There you go. I just made myself a little tiny and on the screen, so you're gonna probably see a lot more happening right now. So that's what it does. Gemini does it without me asking for. It has actually generated hashtags. It actually has made the post a lot more engaging. So if you see here, it basically goes all the way down. Okay, they're so I think they're both doing it pretty decently. Let's try the second prompt, which is the more contextual one. So I'm going to be trying that here to see what this looks like. Let's see how this goes. Okay, look, I think the one thing that I've seen with AI is they get really smart when it comes to what they write. They keep changing. Every single time you run the same prompt, you're going to get a different response. But one thing I have seen with Google Gemini is, no, I may be sounding wrong. Okay, if I try it one more time, but I will try it right now because I really need to understand if that's the case at all. But if you see here, this is the content it created. I like it. I think nothing to do with the quality of content at this point. We're not trying to get too much into it. So interesting. So I'm going to be copying this again. So let's cancel this. And I am going to run it one more time. I really don't know how this would fare, but let's try this. Because in my observation, I've seen that it repeats the same content that it gave before. Cool. It actually creates two different posts, which is pretty fun. Love it. So that's the first head-on collision between ChatGPT and Google's Gemini. This round number one, I think it's one each. I really like the fact that both of them can get pretty contextual. I tried this a couple of times here. So if you see, it actually used Super Bowl hangover and all of that. Pretty fun, right? I mean, it really makes it pretty fun. So what I'm also looking for is if it's using my time of posting. So I guess hangover is something that refers to it. But yeah, I will share a link to both these chats in the description so you can take a look. But I think that's round number one each. Both of them win without any losses. Second, let's look at email marketing. I think email marketing is another area where B2B marketers really struggle with a lot of personalization to do. So what I'm going to be doing is not, instead of writing the entire email, I think with and let's focus on, let's say, cold email outreach. And with cold email outreach, the biggest challenge is always to do with what's the opener, because if you don't open your emails really well, chances are that you're not going to get people to read the rest of your email. And I don't think the rest of the email really matters. You, even if you templatized it, I think that there isn't any problem. But there is a problem if you templatize your opening and your subject line and things like that. So what I'm going to be doing is running this head-on head-on competition between ChatGemini or ChatGPT and Gemini with cold email outreach, and I'm going to be using it to do some level of personalization. So for which, what I will do is, yes, give me a second here as I copy some data from. I'm going to be copying some data from a spreadsheet that I've been using, and we can actually use that to see how things perform. So, okay, I've copied some data here from my outreach sheet it's for B2B founders, so B2B SaaS in this case. So what I'm going to be doing is I am basically going to try running this to generate a cold outreach opener for for this gentleman, right? So what we're going to be doing is, like we did in round number one, I am going to create a prompt, and then we're going to try this prompt in two different ways: a simple prompt and a complex prompt, or a system prompt. And we're going to be running it on ChatGPT and then on Gemini. Yeah, if it sounds good, let's get started. I'm going to be recording myself. If you're just joining, then you're probably wondering why I'm speaking this strange way. It's because I am recording myself. Record a prompt. I need you to reach, I need you to craft an opening, a 1 to 2 line opener for a cold outreach email for, and I need you to write this in a very compelling way so they understand exactly what you know what, I need to redo that. So let's start with a simple prompt first. I need you to write a cold email opener that's 1 or 2 lines max for, make it extremely compelling for them to read, and I need you to write it in such a way that they would continue to read and want to respond to this email. So if you notice, I actually went and kind of give a gap here, 2 lines max for, so that's where I'm going to paste these details. Okay, so that's basically the background details. Pablo Graber, Chief Executive Officer of Drumroll AI, and make it extremely contextual. Yeah, so I've done this. Now this is a very simple one, so I'm going to be just trying it to see how this goes. It says, "Hi Pablo, I recently dove into." Okay, that's that. So I'm going to be now doing a one level complicated, or rather complex prompt. So let's try doing this. You are the world's best email marketing expert and copywriter, and I need you to write a very good cold email opener for. I need you to research about this person thoroughly and write an email that will hook them and get them reading and help them take action. The goal for my overall cold email is to get them to book a call with me, a 30-minute call with me. You have all access that you need to the internet. Use Bing to do research about the person, their company, and give me two outstanding opening lines only based on facts. Okay, so that's not an exhaustive prompt, but it's definitely better than the prompt that I gave before, because in this one I'm giving it some context as to why I'm doing this, what's the goal of my email. So it has some context why I'm sending something. Let's see how this actually performs. Now, next step is we're going to take both these prompts and use it on Gemini as well. Well, this is a funny thing it does sometimes. I have ChatGPT Plus, yet it sometimes says I don't have real-time internet access. I've seen this problem a few times now, but it is what it is. So it says, I was truly impressed by. Okay, so you will have access to this transcript, so I'm not going to be reading that. I'm going to be copying the first one here. Hold on, I made a mistake here. I did not really for I did not paste the details of who I want to write it for. So that's the mistake I made. For that person, yes. Okay, sorry about that. Now let's see how this performs. It still says it doesn't have real-time access to data, which is pretty funny. So it's creating a hypothetical. Now, this is not useful because I don't need hypothetical email openers. So, which is not a good thing. So let's okay, not good, not good, at least not good enough. Okay, I'm going to copy this code to go over to Gemini, and I'm going to be doing the same thing there. So what I'm doing is basically running the same prompt that I ran in ChatGPT inside Gemini to see what it actually does. All right, this is like outright horrible. It says I don't have enough information of the person. Okay, let's now go copy the second one. Sometimes what happens with ChatGPT is it actually works the second time I run it. I'm going to run it one more time. Let's see what happens. Look, I love ChatGPT, and there you go. It's actually doing the research this time around. You see that? So this is the thing about ChatGPT. Sometimes that it actually just it's like a kid that doesn't really want to do what listen to what you say. So there you go. It's done some level of research. I've been closely following Drumroll's AI groundbreaking journey. Okay, Ocean, I believe. Great. Okay. Remarkable track record from Antidote to IQVIA. There you go. I've not gone to their website. I've not done anything, and it actually gets something that's completely contextual to what they are doing as a business, which is outstanding. So I'm going to be running the same system prompt on Gemini. Let's see what it does. I hope it now accesses the internet because, well, if Google does not have access, this is crazy. Then who else will? It's crazy. It says it can't do it. Well, I think we were almost about to say this round it's zero each, but I think I give it to ChatGPT. It's 1-0 ChatGPT versus Google's Gemini for email marketing. All right, so that's round number 2. Round number 3 is going to be SEO. So SEO is pretty interesting and funny. What I really want to do is I want to come up with, let's say, there's so much you can do with SEO. What I do want to do focus on is just stick to, let's say, keyword strategy. Okay, so I will try and do something that I think it's happening. So you're going to watch this live. I don't want to explain this too much. Let's go with it. You are the world's best SEO strategist and keyword strategist, and I need you to give me a keyword strategy for my new website, which is based on the main topic, handmade watches. I need you to give me all the relevant keywords that I will need to focus on for this website, which is starting from scratch, and give me, for each keyword, I need you to give me the keyword intent. Okay, that's not a really simple, prompt, but it's simple enough. Let's see how this performs. So the whole idea here is to basically get the engine to do something. Okay, there you go. So it's actually giving me some top level keywords, and which is top funnel, then middle of funnel, which is pretty neat, right? I mean, I like the way this actually handles a simple query like SEO on this keyword strategy. Oh, I didn't expect this much of work for the simple prompt that I gave, but I think I'm impressed with what it's doing. Thank you, ChatGPT. You always make me feel proud. I feel like a proud parent, frankly, but I think this is awesome. So that's that. Now let's go on to the more advanced or more detailed prompt. I'm just thinking what the prompt is going to look like. You are the world's best keyword strategist for SEO. I need you to give me a keyword strategy for my new business, which is around handmade watches. It's for the North American market, and I'm specifically targeting men who are between the ages of 35 and 45. And I intend to build this brand around as a DTC brand, and I need people to be able to discover my watches and accessories through organic search over the next few months. I need you to give me all the most important, in fact, give me the top 15 most important keywords and the search intent, and identify the primary and the secondary keywords from this list, and give the results in the form of a markdown table with the keywords in first column, second one being the search intent, and the last one being whether this is a primary or secondary keyword. I know you're the best at doing this. Go for it. Okay, so that's fun, right? I mean, the best part with Whisper plugin in this case is it allows you to kind of think through as you speak, because I think the whole idea of using ChatGPT is not about what prompt you give. It's about how thorough that prompt is and how it's able to effectively communicate your thinking process. So anyways, that's that. I don't know how it recorded one more U there, but that's the one. So let's see how this performs right now. So I asked it to, okay, there. So there you go. It's basically handmade watches for men, luxury handmade watches, and bespoke watches are the primary keywords, and secondary, there's primary. This is interesting, right? I mean, it actually is thinking through on the fly as it's writing. It's actually sorting these keywords based on whether they are primary or secondary, which is interesting. That's a search intent. Wonderful. So let's, I can get really lost with this, but I think let me go back to our friend, the new kid in the block. I was about to say Chat Gemini again. To Google's Gemini. And let's see how this performs. And I'm going back here in the meantime and copying the second prompt. Let's see how this goes. I am awesome. So it actually gave me interesting information, navigational, transactional. This is keyword intent in the brackets. Awesome. That's nice. It gives you focus areas, which is pretty impressive. Now I'm going to try the slightly more holistic contextual prompt. Let's see how this one performs. Interesting. So that's the search intent, informational. Yeah, I was a little baffled by the way it gave me the search intent here, which it usually doesn't do, but I'm okay with how it does things. But I'm liking this. It's also giving me some notes that I should read. It's giving me some additional tips. Use long tail keywords. That's nice. Look, I think getting tips from anything created by Google is always a plus, because They know the best, and I'm hoping that they're giving their AI their AI bot have, I mean, access to their most important resources. So I would take these additional tips and notes as something more seriously. So that's that. I think I'm actually pretty impressed with the way both these AIs performed in terms of score. I think it's one each. So that's that with SEO one each. Content creation, it was one each, and now email marketing was a complete disaster when it came when it came to Google's Gemini. It was 1-0. So let's start putting tallying up the scores right here. It's one each, and this one was 1-0, and this one is one each. All right, let's get into marketing strategy. I'm conscious of the time here, and I don't really want to do this into beyond an hour, because I think I'm cognizant of the of the toll that sessions with video have on our brain and our eyes. So in the best interest of your eyes, your brains, I really don't intend to do any harm to them. So I, in the best interest of what you are and who you are, and thank you for taking the last 55 minutes to be with me and talk about um, ChatGPT. I was about to say Chat Gemini, but then ChatGPT and Google's Gemini. I really thoroughly enjoyed doing this activity. We went through 3 rounds of comparison between ChatGPT and Google's Gemini, and I think I really see in this context, in context and contest, I think uh, ChatGPT across the three categories, ChatGPT is the winner. But I don't think I would take that as the ultimate verdict, because the best part is these AI engines are improving by the second, not even the minute, by the second, because everybody is using these engines around the world, and they are learning so fast. They are just getting better as an AI engine. So I am really, really looking forward to how these things shape up. But if you're interested, pop in the comments and let me know if you'd like to do the other two as well at some point. If you are interested, I would love to do a live session against and actually go and do this whole thing for the other two categories, which is marketing strategy and market research. Again, this has been a fun session. I really enjoyed having you around as I did this, and I really think this is something that is going to be a fun area to keep your finger on, to feel the pulse, or to watch. I think AI, in the way it actually works, is something that I mean, there is a lot of fear about AI, but I can tell you one thing. If you saw these three scenarios that we just reviewed, I think AI has a lot more to give you than take away from you. There is so much that ChatGPT can do for you. Like for the $20 plus, it actually gets the internet access, which is so much valuable as compared to what you will lose if you don't spend that $20. Just imagine spending dollars or even your time, which is even worse than spending money on content, creating content, thinking about your target audience, thinking about so many different factors, and creating content. And end of the day, right, literally end of the day, you're spending so much time doing it, but for just $20 a month, you are able to do so much beyond content creation, beyond email marketing, SEO. These are just 5 top categories, but I think you can do so much more with a simple $20 subscription for any of these tools. I would even not hesitate too much giving slightly more, because I think end of the day, what matters more for you and me is our time and the resources that we have left for our disposal,
which is what's between the 2 years. So I think thank you so much for joining me, and I would look forward to having these sessions in the future. And if there is anything that you would want me to cover specifically, get into the comments and let me know what you liked about the session, what you didn't like about it. I mean, time, yes, if it's too long, yeah, you can let me know. We could even have working sessions where you bring in something to talk about and we could actually work on it. I am super excited with this whole idea of going live and recording something that's super valuable for all of us here. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next week, but maybe it's tomorrow. Stay tuned, subscribe to the channel if you want to stay updated with future